How's week 5 treating you guys?
Decent? Midterms. Oh, yeah. Okay. Well, speaking of, I guess I gave you one too, didn't I? Bastard that I am.
Yeah.
I am a bastard. Hopefully you got a chance to crack it open before today or tomorrow night. Oh, one warning, speaking of which. There is a website that I have you link out to create a confidence interval. If all of you try to go to it at the same time, it will go down. I don't know. It's the best one I've seen to use for that. There's other ones that exist. So if it goes down, you have to Google around and figure it out. But the one where you have to, it makes that confidence interval for you. For years, I was going to have you guys make it yourself, like from scratch. And then I looked at the math behind it and I'm like, no, they won't like that very much. So, but that is a fallback in case for some reason you can't get that website to load. Just heads up, I've seen it happen in the past where if all of you Google bomb it at the same time, it'll get pissed and say, time out, time out. So if you try to do this at 4 o'clock in the morning on Thursday, probably not the best idea. Yeah. Has anybody had that happen to them when they tried to use it? Good. Has anybody used it successfully? The one where you have to go, it's the Hutchon site, hutchon.com, I think, or .edu. You have to click on something to pop out to make a confidence interval.
I had to copy and paste the link.
Okay, but the link worked for you though,
Yeah.
Brandon. Okay, good. It didn't link directly from the document. Yeah, I can't explain that one. I figured out a setting where you can hyperlink off of the PDFs now, but it doesn't work for everybody. Yeah, welcome to technology. I often think I should get a cut of the CIS department's faculty pay for solving some of their problems for them. Just kidding, guys. Kidding, Peter Casey. Anyway, so at least the link's there so you can do that. I've learned in the past, I've learned now, hopefully more, to put the links in there rather than just making the words hyperlinked, because then you can't get to them if that happens, obviously. Has anybody been shut down from that website? If you don't know what I'm talking about yet, that's okay. I wouldn't wait till Wednesday night to start the exam, though, because on the chance that this could happen. You do have to link out. I think it's just that one thing. Everything else is self-contained on the exam. There's a couple references to other sources, but you don't have to actually go to them, I don't think. If all this sounds like Greek, don't worry. It'll make sense soon enough when you get it. Oh, please, Honor.
Is there an easy way to draw a number line on the computer?
Well, let me show you. I'll let you decide if it's easy or not. This is a great question. A couple students have actually asked me this. When I say draw the number line, you can. My intent was just to have you sketch it with your hand, by hand, like you're making a Word document.
Yeah.
And if you're going to scan it when you're done, you can print it and just draw it in. I'll show you how I make them. I'll show you. You can decide if this is easy or not. Okay.
Okay.
So what I do is I don't do it in Word. I've discovered that trying to draw anything in Word is a lost cause. It might be, we're seeing some not. Yes, that's a lost cause. So I just crack open Firefox, go to Google, and type number line generator. 9 times out of 10, guys, if you need to do something that isn't built in, Google what you need it to do, and it'll, watch this. Number line generator. Okay, and then you get a bunch of hits. And I just start with the top one. Google's got a really, really nice page rank algorithm. I'm going to go to this one. Yeah, this one's a nice one. So it says, okay, I'm going to build you a number line. What should I start with? What should I end with? What should the increment be? And I think on your exam, it's like, what are the percentages like on that one you're talking about? Is it like 20%, 25%, somewhere in the 12, 16, I don't remember. Ballpark. 9, 10, 11, teens, something teens. So let's do this. Let's do this. Let's start at 0 and go up to like, I don't know, just let's play it safe, go to 40. Obviously you can change this, correct? Right? Then increment it by 5. So these will be percentages, right? 0 to 40 by 5s. If you hit create, it's going to think a couple seconds, and then pops out an image of a number line for you, which is nice. So this saves you having to draw that. Some of you are like, why the hell wouldn't I just draw this by hand? I'll get to that in a second, but I'm having you decide if you think this is worth doing. So then I use that snipping tool. I think I've told you guys about this before. Some of you have used it before, the snipping tool in Windows. It's freaking rad. So on my computer, I've got a shortcut, but snipping tool, there it is. Grab that. It's going to shade out the screen and say, what should I snip? What should I copy? I'm going to copy one of the number lines. Here's one right here. Okay, now you can save it, or I just right-click and copy it. This is where I get ghetto. Now I open up Paint, which is the most ghetto art program you can use on a Windows machine, and I drop it in there. So now you've got a number line, and now, depending on how crafty you want to be, you can actually draw the confidence. This is what I was doing. Remember the one I showed you guys a couple weeks ago with the fish swimming around the tank? This is how I built it. I just go up to the insert up here, rectangle, and just drag a rectangle to however wide the interval is.
Okay.
And then if you really want to get fancy, you can go, oh, let's fill it with, oh, I don't know, orange. And then you can like add text to it. And this is how I do them. And then you can put two on top of each other. You can put one there and then put one up here.
Okay.
So, I mean, once you're comfortable with using Snip Tool, with using that Google search for the number line, and Paint, you can knock one of these things, I mean, we just did it in, what, 2 minutes? It might take you a little bit longer to find all the pieces. But that saves you from having to draw it by hand, which means you can work, and then you can just select the whole thing, copy, and then open up a Word document, or you're already working in a Word document, right? You just drop it in as a paste. So, paste. There it is.
Okay.
So, something that can come in handy. Maybe you use it in other classes too for something else. That's another reason why I like showing you guys stuff like this is, sure, it might not be exactly 244, but you might be able to use it some other time. Got a key in my pocket. Okay. I just told you that. Cool. Thank you, Anna. So use it if you want to. If you don't, if you want to draw it by hand, of course, that's fine. Just make sure you draw it kind of to scale. The downside, of course, is you have to kind of eyeball where your percentages are. Like, suppose your interval goes from like 10.5 to 20.5. You've got to kind of like, oh, where's 10.5? Where's 20.5? I mean, you can make Excel do this. It's just a pain in the butt, right? I mean, I showed you that thing I did for the confidence quiz I made you guys do last week with the intervals bouncing around back and forth. I mean, I would never expect you to do that just because it's too much of a pain in the butt. This is way, way easier, way more conversational, and it's more colorful too. You can add the colors really quickly. Cool? All right. What else about the exam? I think that's it. I threw some quizzes up too. You might choose to ignore them. That's totally fine. I don't expect you doing a whole lot of quizzes this week just because A, it's midterm week for everybody else. B, you've got this big assessment due for me, and I guess that's A and B is enough. There's no C necessary. That's enough for you to do. And I've been watching your guys' numbers. Your quizzes are coming in beautifully. You're getting stuff done. I've got an in-class quiz. If we don't get to it today, we'll get to it on Thursday. That'll count against your 10. So, you know, we'll take care of you guys. Cool? Okay. All right, good. So shut this down. Shut Paint down. Shut Snipping Tool down. You can see how ghetto this is. I have 5 different programs open that are all freebies. So you can see how ridiculous this is. I'm sure there's one program somewhere that creates a confidence interval graphically. You probably just Google graphical confidence interval generator. But the trick is that how much time are you willing? I've actually designed a Math 243 problem around this. Did I tell you guys about this? I didn't think about it in time for your guys' class in 243. How much is your time worth? How much would they have to offer you to do a questionnaire? Right? If they put your name in the hat for a questionnaire, what would the prize have to be worth to encourage you to do a questionnaire of length n questions, where the questions are multiple choice, 1 through 5 or so forth, right? I want to collect data from the class and pull it all together and see if we come up with, on average, how much would they have to offer you to do something like that? You know what I'm talking about, right? Yeah. You go to Lowe's and then you print the receipt out and it says, hey, enter for one of blah, blah, blah gift cards, blah, blah, blah.
I think it depends on what the questionnaire is about too, because if it's something that's going to help, you'd be more likely to do it than if it's...
I don't know how to metric that though, right? I see what you're saying. I totally see what you're saying, Lisa. I just don't know how to metric that, right? I don't know how to metric like goodwill.
Yeah.
I can metric like how much money would they have to offer you. So I can make it simple by controlling for that and saying, assume it's about nothing you care about. You've signed up for one of those, I'll do questionnaires for pay things. But you've discovered that it's not worth your time. I was like, well, what is worth your time? Is $100 worth your time? Or $100 willing to be thrown into the hat for $100 or $1,000 or $10,000? Like, where's that cutoff? I see what you're saying. I just can't measure that.
Yeah.
It's a discussion I have to have with my colleagues too. I want to do more student evaluations to get more data. What data? How are you gonna take that data and use it? And then sometimes we don't have an answer for that. I'm like, don't worry about that data. There you go. I like what you're saying. I just don't know how, like I said, I don't know how to measure it. And I hope as we go through the rest of today and Thursday and the back half of this course, you guys keep bringing those things up, the idea of metricing. Because what we were smack dab in the middle of last time was this article on caffeine and heart rate lowering. I want to get back into that. Let's see where we were. We were here. Oh yes, we were. Let's get to here. Maybe to here. Yeah. It's a good place to pick up. We can pick up where we left off. So, and this is, oh goodness. This hopefully too